Hello, everyone, and welcome to the July 19th regular town council meeting. So we'll start with an motion for the adoption of the agenda. Councillor Barry so moves. Is there, oops, sorry, Cliff.
I have an addition to the agenda.
Okay.
Be under 8.6,
Yep.
and it's a sale of a Foxview lot.
Okay. Thank you, Cliff. Any other additions or any deletions? Seeing none. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Next, adoption of the minutes. I'll have a motion for the minutes of our last regular meeting. Councillor Waters, thank you very much. Any errors or omissions within those minutes? Seeing none. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. So we're short a few directors tonight. So it looks like town manager Cliff Craig is going to carry the load here. So we'll start with the monthly cash statement, Cliff.
The monthly cash statement for the month ended June 30, 2021 is presented for your adoption. We started the month with $9,158,000. Receipts for the month were $6,349,000, and disbursements for the month were $3,581,000. So our balance at the end of the month is $11,926,000. So the major sources of cash this month, no surprise, it's property taxes of $5.7 million. Major uses of cash, event center renovations, $104,000. Debenture payments, $205,000. Crack ceiling and roadways at airport, $58,000. Landfill compactor, $1,026,000. Deposit on playground equipment for Foxview and Pesinka playgrounds, $62,000. And then our quarterly requisitions for education are $538,000, and the RCMP contract quarterly payment was $281,000.
Okay. Thank you. Take a motion for receiving. Thank you, Councillor Worrell. Is there any comments? Any questions? This is what everybody does at the end of the month with your checkbook. The numbers are the same, or what? Okay, well, we'll see in no comments. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you, Cliff. Next up, Jameson Brown.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. This request for council decision pertains to the Town of Vegreville rebrand official Town of Vegreville logo. The proposal is to formally change the Town of Vegreville's logo and branding as outlined in the branding guide, July 2021, presented to Council at the July 13th, 2021 Legislative Committee meeting. The background is in 2020, discussions surrounding the Town of Vegreville's logo, specifically the inability to manipulate its size for promotional material, led to a decision to explore other logo options. After consulting with branding and design firms, a new Town of Vegreville logo was selected. This logo is simple, clean, timeless, and easily manipulated to ensure it will work on any and all future promotional material, while also pays homage to already existing Vegreville signage and, of course, our world-famous Pesinka. The communication strategy, upon approval by Town Council, should Council approve, a logo rebrand implementation plan will commence with a press release detailing the Town of Vegreville's new logo, which will be distributed to local and regional media. Financial implications. The first phase of the logo rebrand implementation plan will be a cost-effective logo rollout on our social media channels, website, Town of Vegreville Council and staff email signatures, the document headers as well. Ensuring fiscal responsibility, additional phases of the implementation plan will follow in the coming weeks and months. The recommendation is that Town Council adopt the branding guide July 2021, including the new Town of Vegreville logo. Thank you.
Thoughts, any comments? Go ahead, Councilor Warwa.
Well, I guess first, just want to thank you for the work that was put into it. I appreciate that all the things that we asked for were explained regarding keeping color. I was going to make one mention, because I know we had brought up a little bit the submarks, and I looked at the submarks of some various communities afterwards, and I can see that the V in that formation with having still the, what are we going to call them, triads? Yeah, okay,
Triads, yeah.
perfect. It does really stand out. I looked at some of the submarks on different Twitter accounts and which ones you could see, and I think that it'll be very distinct. So I appreciate it and think that it'll work good.
Okay, anybody else? Go ahead, Councilor Rudick.
I appreciate the link to the past and the future, and we've talked about this many times as this council, that this is one of our ways to be able to do that very effectively. So I'm happy to see this project moving forward and appreciate the thought that's gone into making sure that this is explained to the public. And I already saw some of that in the advertising campaign. Seeing the new logo on that is great. Really happy to see that.
Councilor Barry.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, I'd just like to say, Jameson, I think that you've done a very nice job on this. I know that you put an awful lot of effort into it. A couple of times with council, we were not quite certain on it, but I think that once we saw more of the material, I really like this plan now. Really, it's really great. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, Councilor Roger.
I'd like to thank Jameson and team as well for the product that we're going to be getting, and that the implementation will be right in line with the wayfinding project, with the new signage project. So everything, I think, is going to be well received by our community.
Councilor Waters.
Yes, again, thank you for myself. There was a lot of work put into this, and a lot of council's requests were implemented, so that is greatly appreciated. And Councillor Brajek, I'm going to fall on the heels with the wayfinding project that's coming up, and the timing is really good with that. And the rollout showing the parts of the egg that are kept in the logo, I think, is very important as well. So thank you for all the time.
Thank you.
Okay, well, myself personally, I think looks very fresh, and it's the look that we're looking for our town when people look to us and when we look at ourselves. I had an interesting conversation with a concerned citizen about the way we painted the old Vegreville signs, the font that we're using in this logo, yellow, and he was quite concerned that we were taking away from the initial design. But when I told him what was moving forward, he said he's willing to wait. He said that John Radish is the one that designed those signs the way they were. And I know that Ernie himself knew who did it. So again, I said, well, you will see when we're done, and the fresh look that's going to be on Vegreville, we'll be using his design again. So he said, okay, I will wait before I make any more judgments. So hopefully the citizens of Vegreville will take a good look at it and see how it pays respect to the past, and it's fresh, and you can always connect it to the egg. So job well done, and look forward to seeing it on right in the wall behind me.
Thank you, and that'll be coming soon.
Okay, well, everybody's got their comments in, so all those in favor of the recommendation? Carried. Thank you very much. And now back to the workhorse of the night, Cliff Craig.
The topic is 2021 Vegreville Cares Coalition road closure. Proposal is the road closure for Harvest to Hope kickoff event on Thursday, September 9, 2021, proposed by Phil Rowe, Community Services Director. The Vegreville Cares Coalition identified the need to bring community together to build capacity through connection and strengthening relationships among our residents. This initiative was funded by the AHS Better Together Strengthening Community Action and the Capacity Building Funding Initiative. Their goal is to strengthen relationships in neighborhoods while promoting diversity, inclusion, and safe communities, all while building hope. Communication strategy, the temporary road closure would be posted as a news item on the town's website and through our social media channels. The recommendation is being made that Town Council approve the road closure on September 9, 2021 from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the following streets. 50th Street from north of 50th Avenue to 52nd Avenue, and 51st Avenue from 50th Street to 49th Street.
Take a motion for that recommendation. Counselor Waters, thank you very much. Any discussion? No red lights? Okay, so obviously, the Vegreville Cares Coalition has had some sort of consultation with the businesses downtown. And I would hope that they know that this is coming and that, can anybody help me with that? Go ahead, Cliff.
I talked to a Vegreville Cares Coalition board member today, and if this is approved by Town Council, the coalition will contact the business owners on the designated route. So, because the location has changed from when they were originally planning the event in June, I believe.
Okay, so they'll have some sort of input then into
Yes.
the decision, okay. Okay. All those in favor of the recommendation? Carried. Now, back to Cliff Craig.
Development permit application 110621 EVE, and this is for 5121 51 Avenue. A proposal to approve a development permit application for the purpose of renovating the existing house. This is proposed by Dale Lefebvre, Infrastructure Planning and Development Director. So on June 23rd, 2021, Mr. Brent Bohojchuk applied to renovate the house originally built in 1913, located at 5121 51 Avenue. The renovations will include new structural beams, interior renovations, and efficiency upgrading. The property is currently zoned as DC Direct Control District, and the use of the property is currently residential. As a result, this application is required to be decided by council. Recommendation is being made that Town Council review development permit application number 110621 EVE and authorize a development authority officer to approve the application based on the following conditions. 1, the renovations must meet all standards and conditions applicable from the town's land use bylaw 11-2019. Number 2, the renovation must meet all standards and conditions applicable under all provincial codes of practice.
All right, take a motion for the recommendation. Counselor Brajak, any comments? Go ahead, Counselor Waters.
Just for those that are watching, that this isn't really a normal thing, I guess. It is zone direct control, so it needs to come to council as opposed to being zoned as residential, where it would fall in the bylaws, and Dale's department would be able to make that decision.
Exactly. See no other comments? All those in favor of the recommendation? Carried. Okay, now we're gonna go back to Mr. Paul Casey and Cliff Craig again.
This topic is for banking services. The proposal award the banking services agreement to BMO for a 5-year period from January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2016, proposed by Paul Casey, Corporate Services Director. The town's current banking services agreement with BMO expires on December 31, 2021. On June 1st, 2021, administration issued a banking services request for proposal to all financial institutions within the town of Vegreville. The deadline for submission was June 30th, 2021. Proposals were received from each of the following financial institutions: ATB Financial, BMO Bank of Montreal, CIBC, TD Bank, Vision Credit Union. Following receipt of the submissions, administration evaluated the proposals based on the evaluation criteria contained in the RFP. As a result of this evaluation, administration is recommending awarding the 5-year banking services agreement to BMO Bank of Montreal for the period January 1, 2022 through December 31, 2026. The communication strategy is the respondent financial institutions will be advised of the town's decision to award the banking services contract to BMO Bank of Montreal for the 5-year period commencing January 1, 2022 and expiring December 31, 2026. Recommendation that the town of Vegreville award the banking services to BMO Bank of Montreal for a 5-year period commencing January 1, 2022 and expiring December 31, 2026.
Thank you. Take a motion, Councillor Barry makes the motion for the recommendation. Any discussion? Well, at our last meeting, we had comments from Mr. Paul Casey regarding this awarding this contract, and they did come cheaper on their services, on the charges. So that being said, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, next up.
Date change for 2021 tax sale date. Proposal is to move the 2021 tax sale date from September 7, 2021 to September 13, 2021. Proposed by Paul Casey, Corporate Services Director. As part of the tax sale process outlined by the Tax Recovery Guide put out by Alberta Municipal Affairs, the properties up for tax sale must be advertised in the Alberta Gazette for no less than 40 days and no more than 90 days before the tax sale date. In order to meet the minimum 40 days of advertising in the July 31st edition of the Gazette, the tax sale date needs to be moved. Changing the date to September 13 allows for the minimal time for advertisement in the Provincial Gazette. There are no financial implications. Recommendation is being made that Town Council change the tax sale from September 7, 2021 to September 13, 2021 at 10 a.m. in Council Chambers.
Thank you. Take a motion for the recommendation, Councillor Warwick. Any comments? Pretty straightforward. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Board motions. Go ahead, Cliff.
We have the one item that was added.
Oh, that's right, 5.6. I just went by.
There is no backup on this. This item came in late this afternoon. Excuse me. We have an offer to purchase a lot in Foxview Estates. It's Lot 2, Block 80, Plan 1621368. And it's the municipal address is 5506 60 Avenue. And right now, of course, it's a vacant lot. So the offer is for $30,000. It's the most westerly lot on 60th Avenue, the most northwesterly lot on 60th Avenue in Foxview. Okay?
Okay, so we'll start with a motion, and that way we can have some discussions.
Okay.
Councillor Waters makes the motion, and the motion would be that we,
Accept the offer
Yeah.
of $30,000 for the sale of lot as described.
okay, discussion? Councillor Warwick.
Well, I know that we discussed that there's always got to be a starting place. I assume, I just will look over at Cliff there, I'm assuming same building regulations as always would apply. So with that, we know that it isn't something that can be held on to or speculated, and so I would definitely be in favor of seeing the kickoff and go in there. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Waters?
Just curious, is this one of the larger lots or more of a typical size?
It's a typical size.
It's not backing onto that green area, it's backing onto RJB. That field was not RJB, but that field, so. Anybody else? Counselor Rudick?
So I guess it would be important to note for the public and for our purposes too, that we put policy in place for the pricing and all of the real estate decisions that are made by council. So can you just refresh our collective memory for those watching and gathered, as Councillor Warwa referenced to the idea that it would come back to the town as well as other details. Can you explain some of those, please?
Sure. The land sale policy, this offer fits well within the land sale policy. And at this point, the town is the owner and we're in the process of trying to sell these lots. Within the land sale policy, this falls well within the appraised value that was provided by our appraiser earlier in the year. So.
Okay. Well, like we talked about at our last meeting, about moving some lots here and getting some interest. I know myself, I talked to 2 people since our meeting last Tuesday. And I feel that this is a reasonable offer right now, and the first few in are gonna be ones that are gonna be getting the deals, and that's what we talked about. So it's nice to see that we have an offer, and again, 1 year to build on this property, or you wanna get 80% of your money refunded. So if there's no other comments, we'll call a question on this motion. All those in favor of selling the property at the, there we go, there's the kickoff.
Thank you.
Now we can move on to the board motions.
Okay, this is a memorandum from Economic Development Department to Town Council, Vegreville Economic Development, or from the Vegreville Economic Development Advisory Board. So board member appointment, Shelley Taylor. The Vegreville Economic Development Advisory Board passed a motion to accept Shelley Taylor as a new board member of the Vegreville Economic Development Advisory Board. Recommendation that Town Council appoint Shelley Taylor to the Vegreville Economic Development Board with the term to expire in May 2023. This appointment will be as a representative from the agribusiness sector in accordance to bylaw 16-2017, section 3.4A.
Okay, need a motion? Counselor, oh, sorry. Counselor Rudick makes the motion that we, for the recommendation to appoint Shelley Taylor to the Economic Development Board. Counselor Rudick, what do you have for information for us?
I was just gonna say that, the last couple meetings, we've had Ms. Taylor attend, and the information that she's been able to bring from her background in both banking and, agriculture has already, been valuable. Her perspective, is needed at that table, and as we move forward, we're excited to have her presence, at that table. So a lot of value added, on the ground perspective that she's able to provide. So we're really happy to have her there.
Okay. Okay, see nobody else? All those in favor? Carried. And I'd like to thank Ms. Taylor for putting her name forward and being another asset that we're using in our communities. I think you only got 2 left, Cliff, so.
This is for second and third readings of bylaw 01, 2021. This being a bylaw number 01, 2021 of the town of Vegreville in the province of Alberta for the purpose of closing public travel and creating title to a portion of a public road in accordance with section 22 of the Municipal Government Act, being chapter M26 of the Revised Statutes of Alberta 2000 and amendments thereto. So this applies to a portion of a lane, Plan 44NY, that lies within Lot 11A, Block 60, and will be a new plan number containing about 0.021 hectares, and all of the portion of the road and lane under Plan 7521563 that lies within Lot 11A, 60, and there again, it will be a new plan number, containing about 0.002 hectares. This had first reading on March the 8th. There was also a public hearing on March the 8th. This has been forwarded to Alberta Transportation, who have approved the road closure. So it's coming back for second and third readings.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'll take a motion for a second reading. Well, we'll start with Councillor Broadjack this time. All those in favor? Carried. Now we take a motion for a third reading. Councillor Warwell, thank you very much. All those in favor? Carried. One more bylaw.
Okay, bylaw 05-2021 of the Town of Vegreville in the province of Alberta to establish a regional emergency advisory committee and a regional emergency management agency. And the purpose of this is to have a regional emergency management in conjunction with the County of Minburn, a Village of Innisfree, Village of Manville, and of course, Town of Vegreville. The plan includes provisions on an individual local authority to respond in the event that an incident is within the capacity of that local authority to respond. So it also establishes two committees, a regional emergency advisory committee, which will have two municipal councillors appointed from each of the local authorities within this region, and a regional emergency management agency, which would include the directors and deputy directors of emergency management and designated members of the municipal incident command posts. I've also incorporated a municipal portion in this, so of the four communities that are listed within the region, Town of Vegreville is the only one to have their own municipal emergency plan. So it is incorporated within this bylaw that we would maintain our own municipal emergency plan and be part of a regional emergency plan. So, and at no time, the provision of assistance will be at the discretion of the assisting party who reserves the right to not provide any assistance, provide limited assistance, or provide assistance as requested. So we will never put the Town of Vegreville in jeopardy for this. So it only makes sense that there's a regional emergency management because any disaster or occurrence doesn't know municipal boundaries. Okay, so I'm asking for all three readings tonight.
And this will be repealing in bylaw 11-218.
Correct.
Okay. So, I know we've all gone through this and we've talked about it, so I'll be looking for a motion for the first reading. Councilor Waters, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. I'll need a motion for the second reading. Councilor Warwell. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Now, I'll need a motion for unanimous consent. Councilor Berry, didn't see that coming. Thank you. All those in favor? Carried. And we'll need a motion for the third and final reading. Bylaw. Councilor Rudy, thank you very much. All those in favor? Carried. We now have a new
Thank you.
bylaw, which takes effect today. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Cliff. I know it was a lot on your plate tonight. And now for the easy part, we get to talk about ourselves here, so. And we're going to start with Counselor Warwick.
Well, since my computer decided to update, it's a good thing I had it saved on my phone as well. So July 12th, I had a VTAB meeting, which I just wanted to go over a couple of things that we dealt with. And I want to say it was awesome finally having everyone back together. It was our first in-person meeting, was held at the library, and we still made safe and smart choices in regards to, you know, being together. But I really, in the tourism, I can't stress how nice it is to be able to sit down and just feel like it is a little bit different atmosphere when we're all able to really talk to each other. So a couple of the things that I just wanted to bring up again was we had some more discussion about our art walk, which now has over 50 people. I know we have talked about some updates on it, but I just can't say enough kudos to having an asset like the Vegreville Visual Artists in town. The other thing, though, that, you know, it is somewhat sad to see sometimes there is some removal or sometimes some vandalism that can happen to some of these art posts, and I think it should be mentioned just the amount of work that goes into them. And so again, if people are seeing some of this happen, please let us, please report it, or you're seeing someone do something by these posts, because the amount of effort is just amazing to see. So another part of our art is the actual art walk itself, which of course this year, as we know, was on has been done on the storefronts. Again, kudos to the Vegreville Visual Artists. We've had so many people sharing pictures that have been from our town on it. It's ending up to be quite the tourist thing for us, and possibly something that even on a non-COVID year we would look towards doing as well, because it's something that can be enjoyed 7 days a week, so it's really great. We also, another project I wanted to highlight was our 2021 mural. We look to be going ahead with an additional mural this year. And the good news, as always, is we've had options come in. We had 3 amazing submissions, and we will be able to stay within budget, of course, and in consultation with our building owner, we look to see the big mural happening on the side of the Ziegler building this year. So it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful mural. And I just want to say about all 3 submissions were amazing, and they will be receiving outreach from us to ask them to consider putting in again. Everyone having a little bit different theme and different options, and it's really amazing to see. But this is going to be a really wonderful, I think it'll be a really wonderful addition. It still ties in some of our theme. Of course, when we are tying into the Pesinka, a little bit of design at the bottom that will tie in, but just also really modern and vibrant, and it's pretty exciting. So we'll be looking forward to bringing some of those forward. Also, there's some opportunity for people within Vegreville to take part in the Canada Mosaic Mural, which is 4 regional mosaic murals across Canada, and you basically get to do the little tile and send it on that. So there's been some information out about that, and I think that will be wonderful. And as we know, many of our projects are moving forward, and everybody is crossing their fingers for the rain, because one of the most exciting talkabouts was our corn maze. And again, a huge shout out. It seems like they are basically filling up for volunteer groups to take on the weekends. There's a lot of amazing themes going. And, you know, Councillor Barry, this has been your baby through there, but it is definitely potential to keep improving and increasing every year and just be an awesome tourism option. So we're looking at all those, and there's going to be some talk about how to tie in and really promote this fall the idea of Very Vegreville Christmas, because it looks like that can go ahead. So those are just some of the things that we see. Also, on that evening, I attended the see a little bit of the Shumka dancers. That was great to see. Our ledge meeting and tonight's council meeting, and that was all for me this time.
Thank you very much. Councillor Rudick.
Well, since we last met, we have met a few times to discuss some of our arrangements and our agreements with the county, so that's been great to be able to have those conversations with our neighbors. We had a meeting with our MLA as well to discuss a few different topics, so glad to be able to have those conversations with the province. July 12th, the Shumka meet and greet at the IG. Really happy to see them have the caliber of dancers select the Pisinka as one of their photo shoots. They're filming across the province in various locales, and really happy to be able to use our beautiful site. It was a perfect evening, and be able to see what's going to be coming forward. They've got some great videos that they've shot in other places, so happy that they included Vegreville in that. And I've had a few FCM meetings that are bringing forward some interesting information that will be of value to Vegreville as well as we move forward in the next little while. It is, of course, in everybody's mind that there will be a federal election coming up, as we're going to be entering into a municipal election. But as we move forward, if there are specific municipal issues that are going to be on the federal docket, all major policy decisions are being made right now as the platforms are being put forward by the federal parties. So it'll be interesting to see what the summer will hold, and we'll have those conversations moving forward. So anyways, that would be my report. Not very much.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Brajak.
Thank you, Your Worship. I attended the negotiations for between the county and the town of Vegreville, so hoping that that will go forward and that we can come to some kind of an agreement. I attended a virtual meeting with MLA Armstrong Hominiuk. I also attended the Shumka Dancers at the Elks Kinsman Park and their photo op. And tonight's town council meeting. We normally have our Chamber of Commerce business meeting on the first Thursday of the month. However, with summer holidays, we've canceled that one. But I do want to make mention that our local Chamber of Commerce was nominated for Chamber of the Year for membership up to 150, and that indeed we were the recipient of the Chamber of Commerce Chamber of the Year membership for membership under 150. And kudos to Chamber Manager Michelle. She has made all the difference in the world regarding this award at this time. So I'd like to thank Michelle Henderson for this monumentous award for our community. Thank you.
Well, nice to hear that. Thank you very much. Councillor Waters.
Okay, thank you. Attended the virtual meeting with MLA Armstrong Hominiuk as well. A lot of good information passed back and forth, so looking forward to follow up from that. Was at the Egg Park there with the Shimka Dancers, and it was nice to see how many people came out to see them with an unannounced visit. So that was great. It brought more attraction there, and it's always wonderful to see the dancers. We don't get a lot of that lately with everything going on, so that brightened up the town a bit. On the 14th, the COWS meeting, not too much on the executive side of that, on the committee side. The summer camp is up and running, so the kids are happy with that, and it's nice to see that they're able to get together face to face. It's one thing doing little kid projects online, and it's totally different seeing them interacting together, so kudos to the people putting on those programs. And yeah, it's been a little slow right now, but it'll pick up again soon, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Barry.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just quickly, I was also on the Zoom meeting with our MLA and went to see the dancers. I thought it was very well. It was fun watching them. They're a very, very good dance group. On June 28th, we had Corn Maze meeting again, and we also had a bunch of our volunteers come out for recruitment. And I'll echo what was already said. It is very nice to see that we're getting a lot more volunteer groups. There's a lot of interest. And although we call it a corn maze, really the corn is secondary anymore now. With all of the activities that the group are planning and the organization from around the event center, it's really going to be quite an event again like last year. And while they're there, they can go through the corn maze because it's really become a much larger event than saying we have a corn maze. And I'm working on the corn maze right now, and I'll try and make it kid-friendly again so that it's an enjoyable event out there. And the other thing that this system, July 14th, MD Minburn Foundation, our board, had a tour of our facilities that we manage in Manville and Innisfree. And I must say, I was very pleased to see how well kept those facilities are. It's very nice to see that we're providing really good service to the seniors of our county and our communities. And in tonight's regular council meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, I've had a fairly busy time lately, as some of the reports have said. The Councillor Broadjack and Councillor Rudick and myself are on a process with the county right now, redoing a fire services agreement. So we've had like 3 of those. I've had, two of those, and we've had some small meetings on our own. The John S. Batook Water Commission, we're in a mediation program right now with one of our other commissions that we share a facility with about some problems that we're having. So I've had like 3 of those already this the last month here, so hopefully we can get that done up quickly. I met with the economic development manager and just to see where we're at in a few items on the 29th. On the 30th, I had an update from a hemp fiber company that we've been in negotiation with regarding what's going to be happening on July 29th at the Alberta Innovates Hemp Field Day. It's on the 29th, and I will be there, and some other dignitaries will be there, so hopefully some councillors will be able to make it that day too. I too was in on the call with our MLA, and hopefully we can get a few of our issues front and center with the right ministers moving forward. On July the 9th, it was Car Collector Appreciation Day, so Jameson and myself met up with the club twice, earlier in the day for some pictures, and later in the day at the Ag Park, and to watch everybody's ice cream melt as fast as it could go. On the 14th, the Shimka Dancers on the 12th, the LEDS meeting on the 13th. On the 14th, Cliff and myself were on a meeting with AUMA regarding some policing issues that are about to come to the forefront in our budgets here in the next budget cycle. So hopefully AUMA has sent everybody a copy of what the discussion were and where we're at with that right now. Myself and IP&D Infrastructure Dale and myself did the taping of Talk of the Town on the 15th. And tonight's meeting, so that's what I've been up to, and I've had a few phone calls in the middle, and I'd like to say that they were all pretty positive about what's going on around town, so that's what I have, and that is it for tonight's meeting. Does anybody have anything else they want to bring forward? We have no closed session tonight. So, seeing nobody with any pressing issues, that'll be it. I adjourn the meeting at 7:43.